Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm your host, FD for Sage5.tv, bringing you something different. I thought it's midway through this current cycle. Let's not debate when the current cycle actually started, but I think we're midway. Whatever the length is, we are midway through this cycle. It's probably a good time to reflect on some of the crypto projects we've invested in our public portfolios. And here today, we are going to focus on the project we've invested in within the 2K to 100K portfolio challenge. And to provide you guys a balanced view or a balanced reflection, I'm going to try and cover some of the regrets based on the project we chose and some of the successes or potential successes. And in this case, I'm not really looking at, when it comes to the successes, I'm not really looking at which one is pumped the most. I'm looking at strength. So an increase in price and showing some strength, to me, they are not the same thing. The project might pump the most for all sorts of reasons, but the strength is it losing ground? Does it gain less and drop the most? To me, that is strength. That's what I'm considering here. But before I jump into this video today, guys, please note that I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a dude on the internet who is striving to provide you entertainment as well as educational content for anything crypto related. And if you're from the UK, this content is not meant for UK audiences because the UK authorities are trying to protect you from anything crypto, as they do deem crypto assets to be an extremely risky asset class. Therefore, you should not be watching this video. That said, let's come back to the subject matter of today's video, taking a closer look at 4 of our strong picks as well as some regrets for projects coming out of our 2K to 100K portfolio challenge. So today we would like to take a closer look at 4 top picks or strong projects from our 2K to 100K portfolio challenge to evaluate how this could go and whether it was obvious from the beginning that these are going to be some of the strongest projects. And I think that will only be true if I had a magic wand from the beginning. I still don't have one, so I don't know how I'm going to explain that one. Now, it is worth noting that when identifying these crypto projects, there is no guarantee that any of these crypto projects will do well from the onset, but on the balance of things, using your own best estimate, judgment, research, that is if you actually bother to do your own research instead of following what someone else is doing or saying. If you don't know it yet, if the person you are following sells courses to their followers, the first question you should be asking is, if they are that smart and doing that well and that clever and are that good, why on earth are they still trying to sell you their course or subscription? They are already rich, right? Then they should not want for anything. But no, your favorite influencer is so smart that they want you to use the skills they possess to help you get just as smart. You think that's true? Think again. If you believe that, then you are most likely not going to make it in this space, I can tell you that. Anyways, let's move on. It's early days yet, but it is always a good move to appraise one's portfolio. Throughout the course of an investment cycle, it doesn't matter whether it's crypto or bananas or salt or cars, it doesn't matter. You need to appraise your portfolio at some point. And for our 2K to 100K portfolio challenge, this may just be the time. We've had a few disappointments as well. So let's start with those first so that we can give a balanced view of what is actually going on to date. So the first disappointment for me was Affinity, which was a parachain on the Polkadot network developed by Engine, which has now been dropped. This had so much potential, but the Engine team decided that they wanted to discontinue the EFI token and somehow try and absorb everything that it stood for into their primary project, which is Engine. Don't know whether it was a smart move or not, or it was all strategic from the beginning. Get a following, and then dump the project that attracted them in, and then try and coerce all of them or persuade them to join Engine. I don't think it worked, especially in my case, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. I did not like that one bit, and Affinity to me represents a fall from grace for both my choices when I chose it as part of our review and for the project itself. Because I remember doing a very good video both on YouTube and also on Twitter. A mini video we did on Twitter, it had so many views, it had so many impressions, and for it to end like this, it was disappointing. Unfortunately, these are some of the risks associated with crypto. A team can decide to change direction or simply rug their community, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. Not good enough, Engine, not good, and I'm not going to be joining Engine anytime soon. Next disappointment is Holoride, a metaverse that had one of the best narratives and use cases that was just as good as any other, but as with most projects in crypto, if something relies on hype more than substance, Holoride typifies that, and it turned out to be one of those regrets that you do not want to hang around for too long. Unfortunately for us, Holoride could be the first project within the 2K to 100K portfolio challenge that is actually going to zero, and it is actually happening. It's playing in plain sight. So there you go. It is tantalizingly close to zero, very close at 98%. That is zero, essentially. That is zero. That is not a medal or trophy no one ever wants, but here we are. In terms of risk control, it was a mere 4% of our 2K to 100K portfolio challenge, so not as bad, but it simply means that we are already, before we get to 3/4 of this current cycle, we are already working to 96% of our target instead of 100% allocation if you think about it, which is, it just leaves a sour taste. But with any investment, you don't go in thinking it's guaranteed guaranteed. Another regret so far is Moonbeam, another Polkadot parachain that it's so much promise, but as things stand today, it is lagging behind competition so painfully. And the unfortunate part is Moonbeam features not just in one, but both of our public portfolios, as well as in my private portfolio as well. The Moonbeam position is about 72% down within our 2K to 100K portfolio challenge, while it remains 97% below its previous all-time high, which means it may yet establish a new all-time low. It's quite possible from where we are today, which is quite scary if you ask me. We are talking a new all-time low in a bull market or bull cycle. We'll continue to hold and hope for the best now. You're throwing all your fundamentals and all your research out of the window and you're praying, hoping on a wing and a prayer here that Moonbeam will not go to zero. I don't think it will, but outperforming its previous all-time high is now becoming questionable. It may still happen, but it's becoming questionable every day. Minswap, another disappointment. Minswap, a DEX on the Cardano blockchain. This one is not much of a surprise as the Mint token has no serious utility apart from being just a governance token. And you know, the team realized that because maximum supply at one point was pegged at 5 billion and they just dumped or banned 2 million, I think, and now their maximum is 3 billion. They banned 2 billion. So they realized earlier on that this is not going to work. It was just, the inflation was disgusting. This is the issue with most of these DEX tokens that do not utilize their own token for things like gas fees. Holding such a token comes with huge costs, high inflation to start with. I'm here just hoping that at some point the Cardano ecosystem will find this mojo back and the Mint token will start to enjoy an uptick in price. Again, not something you want to rely on, but look, early days yet, and Cardano may yet still flourish from where we are today. But at the moment, it's just not promising. The picture is not rosy. Yes, I know the title of the video is alluding to this video solely focusing on the strong picks, performers of late, but to provide a balanced content, like I said, or balanced piece and opinions, it is good practice to highlight the situation on both sides of the equation. Now, in no particular order, here are some of the 4 strong performers so far as I'm concerned. And this is all from our 2K to 100K portfolio challenge. And like I said, strong performers does not necessarily mean the one that is harmed the most, as you will find out. So the first one is the Graph and the GRT token. One of the older projects from the previous cycle, this crypto project still retains some relevance. The GRT token is a long way from its previous all-time high by a wide margin. We're talking of around 88%, indicating that we still have a long way to go. But if it retains the same strength, we may surpass our previous all-time high. Also, we may not. Questions remain though as to whether the Graph will remain relevant with new technologies within the space, posing some serious existential challenges for projects such as the Graph. There is more superior projects now. Some don't even need all these because everything is integrated at protocol level. So we'll wait and find out. The next one is ThorChain. The tokenomics are just awesome for ThorChain and its RUNE token, and the use cases are also very real and practical. ThorChain also occupies a relatively unique segment of the market, meaning there is less competition for its value proposition or its space. At around 70% from its all-time high, I expect the RUNE coin to perform well during this cycle and possibly do more over and above its previous all-time high. Again, that part just speculation from my part. I could see the full potential of ThorChain straight from the beginning. That's why we chose it and researched it and invested in it. And I'm expecting this one to go a lot higher than where we are today. A lot higher. That is just my own opinion, by the way. Another strong project, NearProtocol. Since its pivot to AI, the Near coin has been doing relatively well. The Near coin itself is still about 65% of its all-time high, meaning it still has plenty to run during this cycle if its potential is to be fulfilled. I must also point out that I'm not a fan of NearProtocol's tokenomics. They do suck, to say the least. They are somewhat dodgy, but being dodgy is not really a scientific concept, is it? And its perception varies from person to person. What's dodgy, what's not dodgy? But that's just my own view. From our earlier videos on NearProtocol, the signs were always there to suggest that this was going to be a huge project, and it is proving so as the bull cycle progresses. And the final strong project for us, unexpected, but it's punching above its weight. And I think the team are just aiming for the stars here. PDEX and the PNG token. I'm surprised by how well this one is done and performed. This one is still about 77% below its all-time high, but it's been on a charge over the past few months, seeing almost a 30x. The PNG token is among a few crypto tokens and coins to rebound from any dips the fastest, which is something we mentioned right at the beginning. Loses the least and rebounds the quickest or the fastest, and it maintains its strength. And this is an indication that it is hugely in demand and it is overperforming its rival DEX on Avalanche. That's Trader Joe. I would not have dreamed that from the beginning because I thought it was going to be the other way. Maybe Trader Joe overperformed or outperformed during the last cycle. No one knows. I always had my suspicion that this will do well compared to its poor performance during the bear market, but I did not expect this. And it's early days yet, guys. So I think Panglin and the PNG token, this one is going to go a long way. And I think the team keep adding value as well to what they're trying to achieve, which is great. And that's what you want. Whereas with Trader Joe, it's almost like everything everything is fixed. They can't bring up any new ideas. Pangolin, it's idea after idea after idea. Trader Joe, it's what it is. Anyway guys, that was a quick one on us reflecting on the choices we made when we selected the 20 projects we ended up investing within our 2K to 100K portfolio challenge. A few regrets and some overperformers or outperformers, and some we thought were solid projects from the beginning. Of course, the ones I've not covered, turn around and say they are somewhere in the middle. All those I've not covered, to me, they're still in the middle, but the middle is quite a long range, so some will be towards the top, others not so much. Anyway guys, that's it for this week's reflection on our 2K to 100K portfolio challenge, where we were looking at the strongest performer, whether we knew that from the beginning or we suspected, because knowing will be misleading. We suspected, and the ones that shocked us. For me, it's more to do with the disappointment, because I could not figure that out from the beginning, but now that it's happened, you look back, you think, okay, this is what it is. But at the time, you think you're doing your best. I'm not writing them off. Maybe Holoride, yes, we should write it off. The others, I'm not writing them off yet, right? Those things could still change. Holoride, very questionable. That's it for this reflection video on our 2K to 100K portfolio challenge. Until the